guys, this is Paul Buentello, starting a new show for Cage Debate, brought to you by MMARated.com. My co-host, Dave Velasquez. We're here at NorCal Fight Factory in San Jose, California. We're going to put a list of questions together for you, the fans, to debate on. We're going to pick our sides. You give us some feedback. Give us some comments. So here we go. Should Sherk, have a title shot right after having come off a suspension, a steroid suspension? Do you think it's right for him to have a title shot right off the bat?
I honestly don't think he should have a title shot right off the bat. I mean, if he says it wasn't steroids or it was,
That's how I stand too. I mean, I think he should at least fight, Kenny Florian or something to get back into title contention, just because he failed the suspension. So me and Dave are right on that one, right on the head. I don't think he deserves a title shot. I think he should at least fight one more fight to get back at BJ. But you know what? The UFC has to find the big show and put this shot together. I mean, I think it's a good fight. So it's a big turnout. So we move on to BJ. If BJ wins this fight, should he step up to welterweight? What do you think about that? I mean, he's at fight at 155. Then he's a move to 170. I mean, he wants GSP.
Yeah, I mean, I think BJ's doing really well at 155. I mean, jumping back and forth on your weight's kind of hard on your body, but he has a good camp and he's got.
So you're saying he should win this and move up to?
I think he should fight a little bit more. Unless there's nobody out there to challenge him at 55s.
Well, you got Kenny Florian.
I know that. I think that would be a great fight. I think he should fight Kenny, and then move up in weight.
Yeah, like I said, you're right. I think he should stay 155. A couple more fights and dominate that. Actually, just wipe out the division and then move up.
Yeah.
But I don't think he should move up right after this win. I
think he should just take out everybody at 155
and then step up.
Yeah,
totally agree on that one. Number 3, the question of the night. Will this be the truly the Tito Ortiz? Will this be the final fight for Tito Ortiz for the UFC? I mean, the UFC, well, actually, Dana White and Tito Ortiz have a really bad blood, and I honestly feel that this is it. Tito Ortiz is going to move on.
I think everybody's just tired of the whole bad boy image. I think
so?
Yeah, I honestly think everybody's just tired of it. I mean, you got to.
Do you think that this is his last fight for the UFC?
It could be.
There's even rumors that he wants to fight Kimbo.
Well, I mean, Kimbo won't fight you, so why would he go fight...
That's another story.
Yeah.
Machida, if he wins, should he fight the winner between Rampage and Griffin? I mean, I don't think so. I think
it's just a little too soon. I mean, if Dana White feels that Machida is going to turn around and destroy, Tito, destroy him. I don't think he's ready for either one of those guys.
I feel the same way too, but I think it should give a fair chance to get Chuck Liddell back in there, and maybe Vanderlei Silva. I think to really mix that up, Machida should fight another stepping stone. Another contender, because Tito Ortiz is not a contender in my eyes. Tito Ortiz is a great in his time, but for him to be a contender or a top one to propel Machida to a title shot, I just don't think Ortiz has that power. And I think he should fight, Chuck Liddell or...
Like I said, they're trying to build Machida.
Yeah, I honestly think that Rampage and Griffin, that's going to be one barn burner of a fight. I don't think Machida should fight any one of those guys. I think he should probably have another 1 or 2 fights.
I think so. I think he should have 1 or 2 more fights before he moves
There's
on.
another one they would agree on. Machida, I don't think he should fight Rampage or Griffin in the next show. Machida needs to just get those tougher fights and get well developed in there. So, coming down with Jardine, he's a tough fighter.
He's very tough.
Dude, he's very tough, and he's a gamer.
We were down in New Mexico and watching.
Yeah,
I honestly don't. I think Vanderlei's going to take him. I'm a big Vanderlei fan, and I love the hell out of Keith Jardine.
So who do you think's going to show up? Is it going to be Keith Jardine that's nervous and is going to put that fight for Chuck, or is it that one that's going to hold back and get clobbered in the first two minutes?
That's a tough one. I mean, if I had to face Vanderlei, I'd be nervous as hell.
So there it is, right there, pointing out that Keith Jardine's going to probably come out like Chuck. And with that mentality, but you know what? I don't think he had a good mentality. I think he's had a good game plan for Chuck. And on Houston Alexander, I think he was just overwhelmed and got caught with a good shot. And you're only as good as your last fight. I will say that Keith Jardine is going to come in and he's going to snell. I mean, from what they say, he got a huge bonus from the UFC after beating Chuck Liddell, and I think he wants to keep that fire burning. I think Vanderlei is probably a dream fight for him. I think he's going to come out 100. I think he's going to be a new Keith Jardine, and I think he's going to really put it on him. Vanderlei Silva. If he wins this fight, I mean, if he loses this fight, I know you want him to win so bad, but if he loses this fight, should he move down to middleweight?
That would be...
Now that's where Anderson Silva's at.
Yeah, that would be I think a smart move on their part.
But you want him to win, though.
Oh, I want him to win. But if he moves down, it would be man. He'd probably smash a lot of guys at that.
At middleweight.
At middleweight.
He'd be very exciting.
Yeah,
he would definitely be exciting. So let's say he loses. Should he make the move? You know what? So we go to the next question to make it more interesting on MMA debate. Thiago Silva, best kept secret in the UFC at the light heavyweight division, and I asked you about that. And what do you think?
I don't know if he's the best kept secret. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that we don't know about yet.
No, but in the UFC, signed in fighting UFC, he's already had 3 fights in the UFC. He's 12-0, 10 straight, 10 knockouts, and he's he proven Houston Alexander was just a fluke that even though he wasn't clean, dirty boxing, he dropped him. He dropped him pretty quick. And he beat Irving.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, Irvin's got a glass
honestly,
jaw.
I don't think he's
nothing to get wrong against Irvin or nothing, but he's got a glass jaw. So
yeah. I don't think he's the best kept secret. Honestly, I don't think he's the best kept secret. But he's tough. He's dangerous. He has 10 straight knockouts. I mean, he's well over 90% of his fights knocking everybody out, TKO or whatever. I think UFC has a good product with him. I don't think he's the best kept secret. I think John Fitch was the longest kept secret for the longest time. Longest time. 8 straight wins before he actually got recognized by the UFC fan base. But Thiago Silva, I don't think he's the best kept secret. No. So we'll go to the final question. On MMA debate, Sokoudjou. Is he real? Having 2 great wins, or he's just a one-hit wonder? Is he just one of those guys?
I think honestly, it's who shows up for him.
Yeah, he's training with a really tough camp.
Yeah, it's a real tough camp. But I just think for him, it's who shows up. He might be one of those guys that's just a great barn burner inside the gym, and he's knocked out some people in the UFC. But I honestly think the last time his stand-up, he got destroyed standing and on the ground.
Yeah.
He got out-hustled.
I think the nerves. I mean, you're fighting from pride, which, the crowd's totally quiet. They don't say much. That's where he fought some big wins there. And then coming into the UFC, just being in the UFC, we're all there once. Dave was there once. I was there once. There's a lot of people that have never been there. But once you fight your first fight, that's a lot of nerves. I mean, you got the cameras. A week before the fight, you're there, and you're doing photos, you're doing video, you're doing interviews, back to back to back to back. Then you have basically one day to refresh, and then bam, you're fighting. And I think that the big nerves.
I honestly think. I mean, when you're in the UFC and that's your dream.
And everybody at Team Quest, from Dan Henderson to Mayhem Miller, all those guys, they say Sokoudjou is just man, he's just a beast.
He is a beast. I've seen video on him throwing guys. I mean, they're skyrocketing guys. I just think maybe nerves played a part in it. And like I said, maybe he didn't show up that day. It happens to fighters all the time.
I think he was spent. I mean, I think he was just totally overwhelmed with what the UFC can produce and the fan base and the crowd just roaring. I mean, that's hard to put past you. Mm-hmm. I think Sokoudjou, we're going to see more of him. I think he's going to be a contender. Probably by the end of the year. All right, guys. I hope you enjoy the show. Real quick recap. It's an MMA debate brought to you by MMArated.com. It's going to be on their website. We want you, the fans, to comment on everything we just discussed and pick sides. We want you to talk, good or bad. Give us some feedback. This is the whole reason we're doing this show at North Carolina Fight Factory. He's on my top 8 on my MySpace. Hit him up. He has his new gym going, so I appreciate it. Give us some combats, give us some feeds, and give us some video blogs or something. Thanks, guys.